Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Surprise Baby for the Player by Clarissa Mckay, narrated by Lou Banks and Bradley Ford. Chapter 1. Serena. There are way too many people inside my little house. Which, okay, is a given when you and your housemates decide to throw a party, but it kind of feels like the entire Stonewall campus is here, even if that's dramatic of me to claim. It's not that bad, honestly. I'm just already in mild freak-out mode, thinking of how much cleaning up and disinfecting the girls and I are going to have to do tomorrow, needing to air out the house to get rid of the stench of beer and liquor, and God knows what else. You better not be stressing about tomorrow's cleanup instead of having a good time, one of my housemates and best friends, Lily, shouts over the music as she comes up to me, red solo cup in hand. My hands, being empty of a drink, kind of give me away. Is it that obvious? I shout back with a laugh, prompting her to huff with a shake of her head. Do you need me to pour a drink down your throat? Lily asks. You're supposed to be having fun. I stifle another laugh. I am. When was the last time you got drunk and stupid, huh? She demands, narrowing her eyes. All right, I say with a shake of my head. I'll go get a drink. I can feel her narrow-eyed gaze following me as I head to the kitchen, pushing past crowds of people as the bass of some unknown song playing throughout the house pounds in my eardrums. The party is solely because it's the last weekend before the new semester starts, and while two of our friends are seniors, Lily and I are in graduate school, feeling like a couple of grandmas with our other two roommates still doing undergrad. The party was my roommates Lily and Ashton's idea, and my third roomie Claire and I just went along with it, because why not? But I know for a fact that Lily is hoping this party will give me an excuse to get, as put in her words, drunk and stupid. It's the first party I've been to since breaking up with Carter, my ex-boyfriend, about 2 months ago. Our relationship lasted about 8 months, which is the longest one for me since I've always been laser-focused on school and my studies. Its ending hurt more than I thought it would, especially because I broke up with Carter after finding out that he was only with me because of the money my family name has. Turns out, I wasted a good 8 months with a gold digger. The girls were disgusted on my behalf, even more so when I told them I was going on subpar sex throughout the entire relationship. So, I really got nothing out of it other than some trust issues and maybe less than a handful of orgasms. Entering the kitchen, I walk around the counter and look at the assortment of drinks, knowing there's more in the fridge. I twist my lips to the side, bracing my hands on the counter as I sweep my gaze over everything. I'm not entirely in the mood to drink more, since I've already had 2 White Claws, and I tap my nails on the counter. You look like you're thinking hard. I blink to get out of my own head. Hearing the voice over the sound of music, I look to my right. A tall guy stands there, looking casual in a ball cap, jeans, and a maroon sweatshirt, tight against his large build. The casual outfit doesn't take away from the utter surfer boy vibe he's got going on. Tousled blonde hair that has a bit of a shaggy look, and blue eyes that can wildly rival the ocean. All in all, he is unbelievably gorgeous. I blink a couple of times and look at the drinks before chuckling kind of awkwardly. Yeah, I guess, I say, pushing some hair behind my ear. He flashes me a grin and, oh Lord, he's got dimples, because of course he does. He folds his arms on top of the counter, raising an eyebrow at me as he asks, "Penny for your thoughts?" I roll my lips into my mouth, stifling a smile. Honestly, I reply with a short chuckle. I'm thinking of how much cleaning up we're going to have to do in the morning. I almost cringe at my words, But to my surprise, the guy laughs. The sound deep and throaty enough to send shivers down my spine. "This is your place?" he asks, and I nod. He clicks his tongue, sweeping his gaze around. "Yeah, you'll probably have your work cut out for you." I smile a little and shrug. It's what I signed up for, I guess. Then I pause for a moment and add on, "I'm Serena." His grin remains, showing off unfairly perfect white teeth to go with his handsome features, his jaw sharp and lips full. "Isaac," he introduces. Then he nods towards the array of bottles in front of us and asks, "You gonna get another drink?" "Probably not," I admit with a laugh. "You?" "Probably not," he repeats, grinning. "I've got work early in the morning." I raise an eyebrow, gaze flickering to the stove clock on my left. "And you're still at a party at 1 in the morning?" I swear, his eyes sparkle. "I can't really say no to a good time, can I?" Isaac muses, staring up at me with a look that summons butterflies in my stomach. God, when was the last time I felt those? I can't even remember, not even with Carter. "And are you?" I ask. "Having a good time?" Something changes as I ask that. And suddenly I'm aware of the air between us electrifying, growing thick with a kind of tension that crept up on us. And when Isaac, this handsome stranger, gives me a slow, lazy grin that sets my blood on fire, I tighten my grip on the edge of the counter, especially when he answers, "I am now." The door slams shut behind us, and I blindly reach behind me to lock it because in the next second, Isaac has my back pressed to the wall, his lips robbing me of all the air in my lungs. His kisses are deep and fiery, awakening every part of me as his tongue dominates mine in a battle I had already lost the moment he kissed me. My hands are in his hair, the strands surprisingly soft as I thread my fingers through them, feeling his own fingers deftly undo the button and zipper of my denim shorts. The music from the party is muffled beyond the door and walls of my bedroom, but I don't care about it at all as I'm lost in how firm and solid Isaac's body feels against mine, how my heart is pounding, and the taste of his lips is better than anything else I've ever experienced. I shove my shorts down, kicking them off to the side blindly as Isaac pins my hips to the door with his hands all over me. His touch sears into my skin, and I can't get enough, a quiet moan escaping me when he teasingly digs his teeth into my bottom lip in between kisses. His hands slide to my back, cupping my ass in calloused hands and giving the flesh a squeeze that has me gripping his hair tighter. "Fuck," he groans, the sound rough as he pulls away from me. "Gonna need a taste," he adds, before sinking down on his knees before me. I'm breathing heavily, watching as he goes down, and my heart trips when his teeth catch the band of my underwear that he tugs down before using his fingers to take it off all the way. I kick it to the side, and my hands remain in Isaac's hair as he brings his face right between my legs, bright blue eyes locked on my green ones as his tongue comes out and he licks a thick strip along my wet entrance. "God," I gasp out, head leaning back against the door as his arms wind around my thighs, both keeping me open and holding me up because my knees are already threatening to give out. The warmth of his tongue pushes into me, and I squeeze my eyes shut as my jaw slackens a little, tightening my grip on his hair to keep him close. I feel like I'm floating, flying, fucking soaring as he continues to lick and suck. Another gasp getting caught in my throat when he sucks my clit into his mouth, flicking it with his tongue and already making me see stars behind closed lids. I'd say it should be a sin that he's so freaking good at this, but I feel like I'm in heaven right now. He laps at my pussy and teases my clit, his hands keeping me open for him as he guides my right leg over his shoulder. And I can't stop the sounds that escape me as he devours me like I'm his last meal. The crude sounds of him licking into me join my moans in the room, drowning out the music from the party as I feel that familiar ball of tension tighten low in my belly. He gives another tug at my clit between his lips and, without warning, everything explodes and a sharp cry of his name escapes me as my orgasm crashes through me. White hot and blinding, my eyes rolling to the back of my head as my body shakes from the force of it. My pussy sensitive as Isaac keeps his mouth right where it is, lapping up everything I give him. I look down at him, heart pounding and breathing heavy, and the moment his blue eyes meet mine, the desire to have more of him burns through my blood. My hands slide down from his hair and cup his face, and I tug him up, and when he gets to his feet, I see a quick flash of his satisfied smirk on his glistening lips before I pull him in for a heated kiss. I taste myself on his tongue, moaning against his mouth, and the two of us blindly push away from the wall and toward my bed, shedding the rest of our clothes as we do. We're naked by the time we reach it, and Isaac pushes me onto the bed. I see him fish out his wallet from the pocket of his jeans and grab a condom. "All force," he grunts. "Whatever you say, I think." Heart thundering in my head, I do as he says and hear him unwrap and slide on the condom. When I feel him kneel on the mattress behind me with his hands on my hips, I glance behind me and shudder at the sight of him. Huge muscles, broad chest, and strong arms covered in tattoos. Damn! My eyes travel down to a strong V-line that leads right to an impressive cock that makes my mouth water. Everything is happening so fast that I turn around and grip my bedspread just to hold on for dear life. This whole hookup feels so, well, unlike me that it's as if I'm acting out the scene of a movie. Of a very adult movie, mind you. Isaac's fingers dance over my hips and he leans over me, his front pressing against my back as his lips ghost over the shell of my ear. He whispers, "I bet you feel as good as you taste." My pussy throbs at his words as I breathlessly reply, "Find out." It's all he needs before he pushes into me, and my head falls forward as I let out a satisfied, pleasured moan as he pushes in inch by inch, filling me up and stretching me in a way no one has before. My arms prop me up and my hands fist the bed sheets, but nothing takes away from how unbelievably good Isaac feels inside of me, his own groan sending shivers down my spine once he's fully seated inside of me. "Fuck," he growls, his fingers squeezing my hips. "I fucking knew it." I wiggle my hips after a moment, and Isaac gets the message, pulling out of me before pushing back in, setting a rhythm that has my jaw slackening every time he pushes back into me and his skin slaps against mine. He picks up the pace, hitting harder and deeper, and I can't stop the moans from falling past my lips as I see stars every time he hits that spot. A thin sheen of sweat coats my skin, and I suddenly feel one of Isaac's arms band across my chest before he's pulling me up until my back is pressed against his front. He moves his hand so it rests at the base of my throat, and he uses his fingers on my jaw to tilt my head to the side so he can nip at my jaw. He never disturbs his rhythm, and my eyes fall shut as I lean my head back into him, utterly lost in the bliss he's giving me. I reach one arm back, looping it around his neck and turning my head so I can kiss him, and Isaac returns the kiss just as fervently, breathing each other in and moaning into each other's mouths as he keeps up his strong pace. Everything is spinning as I feel him everywhere, and the tension once again tightens in my stomach, and I know I'm seconds away from coming again. Isaac, I gasp out, unable to finish my sentence from how mindlessly good this feels. I know, honey, he rasps against me, and that term of endearment does something unexplainable to me, my pussy clenching around him. Let go for me. I do, easily, and he's right there with me, the sounds of our moans filling the room as I come so fast and hard. Stars explode behind my closed lids, and I swear, my heart is about to jump right out of my chest. We breathe heavily, trying to catch our breaths, and I feel boneless and would have fallen over if Isaac wasn't holding me up. Knew I'd have a good time at this party, he murmurs in my ear, and a breathless laugh escapes me. A fucking good time indeed. In the morning, when my eyes flutter open, the weight of slumber suddenly disappears when I see the other body in my bed to go with the dull soreness between my legs. Isaac is fast asleep next to me, laying on his stomach, his arms folded under the pillow his cheek rests on, facing me. My heart thuds, and for a moment, I allow myself to admire the sight before me. He looks just as handsome in the morning light as he did last night, and heat rushes to my cheeks, recalling what we did the night before. One-night stands usually aren't my thing, but I can't bring myself to regret my night with Isaac, because, shit, I had no idea sex could be as explosive as it had been with him. And the fact that he made me come so effortlessly, multiple times, really speaks to his sexual prowess and how goddamn attracted to him I am. It was easily the best sex I ever had. Too bad it was only a one-night thing, because the last thing I need right now is to jump into another relationship. Instead of remaining in bed and admiring him like I still, creepily maybe, want to, I carefully get up from the bed, the morning chill making goosebumps rise on my naked body as I quietly go over to the dresser and pull out a pair of pajama shorts and an oversized t-shirt. As I pull on the shirt after putting on the shorts, a deep, raspy voice from behind me asks, "You're not about to sneak out of your own room, are you?" I spin around, throat drying at the sight of Isaac sitting up in my bed, the bedsheets pooling at his lap. I don't look down there, and instead keep my gaze fixed on his. Shooing away any nerves, I lift my chin and say, "Of course not. I was just getting dressed before I send you on your way." Isaac arches a brow, but he doesn't look the least bit offended as he smirks lazily. The sight of it is dangerous, knowing what it led to last night. "Just like that, huh?" he muses, getting up from the bed, and again, I refuse to look past his neck as he bends down to pick up his underwear and pants. I respect it. I shoot him a tight smile. "I'm nothing if not efficient," I quip. I have to inhale quietly, sharply, as Isaac stands there in his jeans, the sharp cut of his exposed muscles on his torso and arms a drool-worthy sight as he picks up his shirt. "And a hell of a kisser," he adds with that smirk before pulling on his shirt. His compliment, despite myself, colors my cheeks, my smile a little more real as I arch an eyebrow and return, "You're not so bad yourself." He grins, dimples in view, and I stamp down the fluttering in my chest as I nod toward the door. "But you gotta go now." Isaac chuckles, hands up in surrender as his muscles are disappointedly out of view now that he has all his clothes on. "Wouldn't want to get in the way of your cleaning," he says, making me huff out a laugh as he heads toward the door. He opens it and shoots me a wink, and unlike many other men, he doesn't make it look dumb or creepy. It's just downright, unfairly sexy. "I'll see you around, Serena." For my sake, I sure as hell hope not.
Chapter 2. Isaac. All right, class. Tamara had to unexpectedly leave the TA position, so we've got someone new filling in for her for the rest of the semester. Dr. Rickards, my Psych 101 professor, announces to the class on Wednesday. When she gestures to the new TA who suddenly stands up from the front row towards the left, someone who I hadn't noticed until now, I damn near slip out of my chair. This is Serena Queens. Serena Queens. I blink in disbelief, a smile curving at the corner of my mouth as I stare at the attractive woman from a couple weekends ago who had made my goddamn head spin with her kisses alone. She faces the class with a smile and a quick wave, and I don't think she can see me amongst the sea of students in the lecture hall. There's nearly 100 of us in here, the Psych 101 courses being some of the largest classes since both psychology majors and those taking the classes to fill general education requirements like myself fill up the seats. She sits back down in the front row, the seats shaped like a wide U, so while I sit in one of the middle sections, she sits toward my left, so I have a clear view of her profile that I hadn't noticed before. How had she walked into the room without capturing my attention? Probably because I didn't expect her to be here, but still, this girl has been on my mind since our hookup that night. And now she's here after being a ghost on campus since then. As Dr. Rickards starts today's lecture, I can barely pay attention, my gaze constantly wandering to where Serena sits. If she's the new teaching assistant, then that means she's a graduate student, making her a year or so older than me. Somehow that only seems to add to her attractiveness. I'd caught sight of her at her party and had been unable to look away, much like now. With her forest green eyes and dirty blonde hair that falls down her back, and a body I'd memorized that night beneath my hands and lips, Serena Queens captured my attention effortlessly. And how could she not, with a name like that alone? I swear, even today I can still taste her on my tongue, and the desire to be with her again runs rampant in my veins, more so now that I've seen her again. She's been haunting my dreams since that night, and I haven't been able to do a damn thing about it. The only thing I knew about her was her first name and where she lives, and I couldn't damn well show up to her house like a fucking creep. But damn, I haven't been able to get her out of my mind. In class, during practice, and even sometimes she'll wind up in my head when I really should be giving all of my attention to the ice and the play happening before me. She would die laughing if she knew how long I had been waiting to use that condom in my wallet. Not that she'll ever find out. But no. Instead, my mind seems to revolve around that one girl that I got one memorable as hell night with. And now she's right there. How am I meant to look away? The entire class passes with me just staring at her from my seat, barely taking any notes until Dr. Rickards dismisses us. As soon as she does, I'm on my feet, gathering my things and shoving them in my backpack and swinging the strap of it around my shoulder. My gaze is fixed on the woman down at the bottom, and while all of the other students are heading up the side steps, I'm making my way down to get closer to Serena. She's packing up her own things once I get there, stopping in front of her seat. She sees my feet before lifting her gaze, getting to her feet as I see the recognition flash across her face. "Isaac," she greets, and I swear my blood heats up at the sound of her saying my name. because now all I can hear is the way she had moaned it that night. Her gaze flickers to her students leaving the lecture hall before looking at me and asking, "You're in this class?" "I am," I say with a flash of a smirk. "Surprised to see you here." "So, you're a teacher's assistant?" "Mm-hmm," Serena hums with a nod. Then her eyes widen a little, giving me a once-over before her gaze meets mine, my smirk remaining as she asks, "Wait, what grade are you in?" She leans back a little. "You're not a freshman, are you?" My eyebrows rise, looking down at her, completely unimpressed despite the amusement I also feel. Do I look like a freshman? Her cheeks pinken and the sight is fucking adorable. This woman. She's beautiful, sexy, and adorable all rolled in one, and I'm not quite sure how that's possible, but she makes it work. I mean, no, she shrugs, lifting her chin as she arches a brow. But you never know sometimes. I roll my eyes, the corner of my mouth quirking up. I'm taking this class as a gen ed requirement. I put it off until now, I inform her with a shrug. I grip the strap of my backpack, leaning toward her, and I see the way her eyes widen ever so slightly as I murmur, "I'm most definitely a senior." She's looking at my lips, and it makes my muscles tighten as she looks back into my eyes and says, "Still younger than me." My smirk widens. Maybe, maybe not. I've had to work full-time to make my way here. Let's just say it's taken me a bit longer than the average student. But regardless of my age, it sure didn't seem to matter much to you the other night. I hold her gaze and my smile widens. Serena's throat works, and I'm suddenly thinking about the way my mouth ghosted over her skin and how soft she had felt underneath me. "Look," she begins quietly, taking a breath. "The other night was fun. Definitely. But I'm not looking for anything, all right?" "Never said otherwise, sweetheart," I tell her smoothly, not at all perturbed. But it was a great night, and it'd be a shame not to have another. A startled laugh escapes Serena as she shakes her head. "When I say anything, I mean anything, Isaac," she says pointedly. "It was one and done. I'm sure you can find some other girl to have a good time with." She looks me over once again when she says that, and I swear her gaze sparks a fire everywhere she touches me with it. I wonder if she thinks of our night together too when she looks at me. I'm sure I can, I agree, not denying her statement. But you and I had a great night, and why trade that for just a good night with someone else? She gapes at me, but I can see the amusement dancing in her eyes. "You're persistent," she comments with a slight laugh, stepping away from me. She begins to walk up the steps, throwing me a look over her shoulder as she adds, "It's not happening." I grin after her, my gaze dipping to the way her jeans hug her, tongue pressing to my bottom teeth as that firm ass I'd love to get my hands on again walks away from me. If only I could let things go easily. "Dude," I say, leaning against the locker next to Zach's open one as he gets changed into his regular clothes. "What's up?" he asks as he pulls a shirt over his head, hair damp from the shower he just took. We just finished practice, so the locker room is filled with the sounds of lockers opening and shutting, the team talking amongst themselves, and the distant echo of the showers running over in the bathrooms. I lean on my side, arms crossed. "Remember that girl I hooked up with a few weekends ago? In that house on Cranston Street?" Zach squints in thought for a moment as he buttons up his jeans. "Oh yeah, prettiest green eyes you've ever seen," he adds with a teasing grin. I roll my eyes, grinning without an argument because, yeah, I definitely did say that. "What about her?" I blow out a breath. "Turns out she's my new psych TA. "No shit?" Zach asks with a raise of his eyebrows, intrigued. "What's her name?" "Serena Queens." What a fucking name, the way it just rolls off my tongue. Zach's eyes widen, his head snapping towards me. "Queens? Dude, if her dad is Clark Queens, that man is a big real estate developer, owns half the properties on the north side of town." I blink, surprised by this information. "Really?" I muse, tilting my head to the side. "Huh. That's cool." I shrug before dismissing it and saying, So listen, I can't stop thinking about her, man. Like one night and she just... Hold on. Zach interrupts me with a laugh. Holding...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?